Mind over matter is magic. I do magic. Don't even want to know that. Mind over matter is magic. I do magic. Don't even want to know that. Mind over matter is magic. I do magic. Don't even want you think about it. Mind over matter is magic. I do magic.
Welcome to another episode of Mind Over Matter. We have the lovely
Fabio.
We're outside today in Washington Square Park on this lovely Tuesday evening, just catching the vibes, you know. And I have the lovely Alan here with me.
Moans.
Emily, and Celia.
Do you believe in conspiracy theories?
Define conspiracy theory.
Conspiracy theories are agendas that are set in place by a few or multiple people, groups of people, to set agendas that benefit them. But it is put out as the word conspiracy theory was put in place to hide those agendas that these people are trying to profit off of.
Sure, I think, I don't know if I believe in conspiracy theories by that definition.
Okay, what would you define it as?
Well, I think that people a lot of times feel like there's a conspiracy that's the missing answer to what's going on in society, because if you have a concept of something that's not going on, that's under the surface, it can make you feel like you have control of what's going on, or control of your life, or control of things in general, when I think a lot of the times the answer is a lot less sinister in that sense, and it's just big corporations controlling everything.
Conspiracy theories are one of those things where it's like people are just like spreading like rumors around, and we don't know if they're completely true. There's some evidence and some facts that like point towards it being true, but there's not really any solid raw evidence that says that this is actually a fact.
Conspiracy theories, is that like stuff that you think that happened? Like, does that word mean like conspiracy theories? Does that mean like stuff that you think that happened, but it didn't actually happen?
It's actually just things that you think the government put in place that are actually real, but they try to cover it up by using the word conspiracy theory to throw you off of what they're actually doing.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. And it's basically agendas made for like it's usually dark things that they do. Agendas made for dark things they do, but when they come out and we see the dark things they do and they try to switch it, you know, they try to put a razzle-dazzle like, nah, we're not really doing that, you know?
No, yeah, definitely. It's done a lot through the media, you know, to distract us. The media is the number one weapon, you know?
I mean, something that I think a conspiracy theory is maybe guessing someone's intentions. A lot of conspiracy theories, people mix up like people not doing their jobs properly for evil intent. Yeah.
That's an interesting perspective. Are there any conspiracy things that were labeled conspiracy theory that you're like, this kind of has some like belief in it? I kind of believe a little bit.
What I will say is a big conspiracy theory, quote unquote, that people don't talk about a lot is, I think a lot of these companies that, you know, Monsanto, Coca-Cola, Nestle, I don't even know if conspiracy theory is the right way to define it. I think a lot of these companies lobby for things that, A, destroy environmental regulations, and B, hike the prices of things that are life-saving, like drugs, pharmaceuticals, things of that nature. I guess if you wanted to call that a conspiracy theory, that's what I would define it as. Companies like McKinsey, who work behind the scenes to fix the prices of food, fix the prices of pharmaceuticals. A lot of people don't know about these things. Like, they don't know about these companies that are, you know, working behind the scenes to create supply and demands for things that should be, I guess, how should we put this, essential human rights.
Okay. What conspiracy theories do you think can be true? Like, they kind of sound like believable.
Mermaids. I believe mermaids are actually real. People be like, oh, they're not real. But I honestly feel, I'm Guyanese, so I'm in the Caribbean, and my parents have told me like stories about mermaids and how they like lure you into we call them bayous, or like the swamp
I've heard
areas.
of those stories too.
And in Guyana, like some houses are like bordered off with like water swamps, and like my mom has told me stories about like how neighbors have like been lured by them. But then, you know, when I came here in America, a lot of people was like, no, mermaids are not real. And I was like, maybe not. I don't know. But I do believe that mermaids are real. That's my conspiracy.
I believe that I believe that there are alienated humans down here that we speak to every day, that's walking day to day, and that lives on this earth, and you know, go to our grocery stores and buy our food every single day, and go to our banks. And I feel like they're on Earth testing humans and just testing the Earth. And I feel like it's been like that for years, you know, on some like secret shit, you know, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you might have like reptilian like humans here, you know, and it might be a secret, you know. You ever wondered like you might have a friend that's a reptilian, or that's a human like alien or something like that? Like what if that was, you know?
I never thought any of my friends were reptiles.
No, not your, like, just like, it don't have to be your friends. I'm talking about a human being.
A human being?
A human being. You know, the government, if the government is already like testing humans, what have you already thought they thought about? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or what if aliens are like, what if the aliens aren't like what they drew on TV? What if the aliens are human form, with just, you know, but they look a little bit more different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what if aliens are human form, but they look just a little bit more different? You know, probably with like some huge ears, or something might be a little bit more different. Like they might have a different nose, but it's the same nose. You know what I mean?
Nah, I hear you. What specific things kind of made you even believe that? What was the first piece of evidence you like, nah, this has to be real?
Well, I got ADHD, so I just be thinking a lot. So it's not like I saw something. I got ADHD, and I just be thinking a lot, and I put two and two together. So I feel like people with ADHD, we know a lot, and we grasp a lot of information. And we think about it a lot, and then like we just put two and two together. And some of it also be true, you know. So 99% of the time it be true. 99% of the time it be true.
I would say the American crack wars and Ronald Reagan's involvement in them. That's something that I'm like, I think the CIA let some stuff into the country, and maybe also like Jackson Pollock becoming a famous painter. I mean, the whistle was blown, like it was funded by the CIA.
What's that? I haven't heard that one.
Oh, basically, during the Cold War, like Jackson Pollock was kind of picked by the CIA to be in like a cultural war with Russia, to be like the new face of American art, like total abstract impressionism, and yeah.
Vaccination, you know, I got vaccinated, I got 2 boosters, but I think people shut down the conversation about COVID vaccines because they don't want to have a conversation that this was a for-profit thing that's going on. You know, these companies like Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, and Moderna have a profit incentive to push the population to continue taking boosters. And it's hard to have that conversation because a lot of times people will just shut that down and say it's a conspiracy. Because you can just take any type of dissent on the scale from, you know, this is a population control, to just saying, you know, these pharmaceutical companies have a profit motive, and you can put it all in the same box and label it as a conspiracy. A conspiracy as a term is used to shut down conversation a lot of times.
How do you feel about people being labeled as conspiracy theorists? Do you think that's dismissive of understanding where they're coming from?
Yeah, it is dismissive. I think it's in today's world, we're not very we don't have empathy, and we kind of like rule everything out because of like science making everything, labeling everything as definite, meaning like this is this and this is that, and then a lot of people are within that world, and then of course people with like power obviously have a lot of play in what people see and think through media, and there's a lot of like oil companies that runs media that we don't even know about, and we're just thinking like it's like it's the conservatives and the Republicans, but it's actually people with money that are actually telling these things. So I think it is dismissive because people's words hold weight in so many different ways, and you just have to be open to it and have empathy for that person.
Why do you think they use the word conspiracy theorist? Do you think it's a dismissive term?
Ooh, it's hot out here.
That's the last question, Naeem. Why do you think people label people as conspiracy theorists or crazy or...
Oh, yeah. Because, like, well, that's a good question. I don't know why, but I know why they will call you crazy, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because they don't want the public to know, If people knew that it was human aliens or something like that just walking around, like, you know what I mean? Let's say if this was an alien, if you was an alien, and you were top secret government, right? The government sent you out here.
Yo, don't be telling them my secrets.
You know what I mean? Because look, the government is putting. Did you know that the government, if they can build a whole AI robot, right? A whole AI humanoid robot, and then put fucking skin over it, and have the robot actually doing human things. They got robots where it can walk, it can fight, it can motherfucking work.
Right.
It actually acts like a human. It moves like a human. It doesn't move like a robot. It moves like a human. If they can do that, what makes you think that they, that they haven't done other things that I'm talking about, like aliens that look like humans?
It's food for thought.
Whatever, like it's facilities out here, government facilities out here. That's fucking. It's government facilities out here that people think kidnapping is only done with the cartel. It's not only done with the cartel. Kidnapping is done with motherfuckers that, it's done with the government too, because it's government secret facilities out here, and they taking humans, right? And they testing on them. So, you probably got people that haven't even seen a fucking day or light because they're fucking stuck in these government secret facilities. And they're getting things injected inside of them. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They're getting things injected inside of them and all that shit. So just
stay woke, y'all.
Stay woke.
That's an interesting perspective. I hadn't thought about it that either. But yeah, if something makes you uncomfortable, you might be quick to dismiss and say like, oh, that's just made up. Why would we listen to some random person? But yeah, they might have a point.
The word conspiracy theory, I think that word is very interesting because I feel like our realities are governed by our word and governed by our tongue. So I use the question conspiracy theory to actually give people the chance to speak their truth. But a lot of the times when I use that word, it sparks fear and emotion. That's why I lean into that. Because, you have to also grab your audience. I'm a journalist, of course. So I really use that word to startle them. There's so much other words I can use that are synonymous with the word conspiracy theory that are actually will have you thinking even more highly of just reality. But I use that word specifically because it is a negative connotation attached towards it, and I understand the power of media. I like to say I live in the world, but I'm not of the world, I live in the world. And when I say that, I say like, when you observe things from like a higher perspective and don't let it take over your reality and don't let it take over your day-to-day behaviors, like when you wake up, you make the conscious decision to meditate and journal and really put out your thoughts into this world with intent, with no dilution from the outside world, then you're able to understand that life is literally what you make it. You are the creator of your life. Of course, there's going to be these schemes and these bigger operations going on around you, but you're not of the world, you're in the world.
Like, I mean, how I see the world, I feel like the world, is your oyster in a sense. You create the world that you live in. Every day you wake up with a mind, and that inner voice is telling you, basically running the entire your world. So if you change that inner voice, you're changing your world, and it's a lot of different layers in this world, and it's just a matter of how you play the game in a sense of this world. And there's winners and losers, but at the end of the day, we all just want to have a better world. And we're still striving to this day. What about you?
I think we see the world by how much we know ourselves. So the more you get to understand yourself, read yourself, understand your likes and dislikes, your world will improve. I think we see our world by our internal views, and however we feel internally is what's projected out to our world. Our beliefs are what projects out through our world. I think our script and our internal dialogue, whether it's good or bad, that is going to dictate if your reality is good or bad.
So, both of what you said suggests that if there's something wrong in our external reality, it's probably coming from within. And so, what do you think that is? What is it that, seeing that the world is the way it is, what is it that we have to heal and evolve beyond to manifest a different form, a wiser form of coexistence for ourselves?
I feel like number one, we have to start off with love and showing appreciation for one another. I feel like these days everyone is against each other, and if we want to create a world where it's beneficial and it's profitable and it's all good for the greater good, we need to work together. I feel like everyone's out for themselves, and I just think that's literally a naturally human thing to do. But the more we just stay connected and lose our pride and know yourself, we're out here in Washington Square Park. We met you like 2 weeks ago, and we're working together today. Like, that's what we need more of in every part of society, whether we're making content or we're making political decisions, whatever the case may be. We just have to be on one accord, and it's a journey, but I believe it'll get done.
So the question was, how do we improve our internal world?
Yeah, and what is it that we ought to shift within ourselves? Like something must be ailing us in the aggregate. Obviously, not on an individual. Every individual is different, but at the aggregate societal level, we see so many problems. So they're stemming from our minds. So what is it that's wrong, and what in your eyes, and what can we shift?
I think what is wrong and what can be shifted is us just understanding that where our thoughts come from. Like, if we can really dissect and trace back, why am I thinking this, to the roots, that can really fix a lot of our problems. Going back into our childhoods, unlearning certain toxic cycles that we were taught. I think just trying to purify ourselves in a way where that's very proactive, in a way that's very introspective, and you have to do the work.
Mind over matter is magic. I do magic. Don't need more, no, nah. Mind over matter is magic. I do magic. Don't need more, no, nah. Mind over matter is magic. I do magic. Don't need more. You think